Minecraft Java Edition 1.20.2 has started its pre-release phase, with pre-release 1 happening today. It fixed some technical changes and a crap ton of bug fixes, but you can see there's some more exciting stuff in the experimental toggle for villages and villagers and villager trades, and this is what I want to be talking about in this video, is the new villager changes. Starting note though, however, just because these are an experimental toggle means they will not be coming in this 1.20.2 update. There is no exact reference for time on when the pre-releases will turn into release candidates and then into a full update, but it has started that phase. There's probably going to be a lot more changes and bug fixes, mainly. So these villager changes won't be worked on. These are not going to be a full feature in the 1.20.2 update. Like I said, they're behind that first experimental toggle. But with that, let's talk about the villager changes. So this adds on to, remember, when they had the lectern librarian changes of different biome-specific villagers having biome-specific books. Well, more villagers and more biomes of more profession types get more fun. And what I mean by that is, well, here's my lovely house. Lovely house for all my villagers. And these are the cartographer villagers. And we go right here. This is a taiga village map. If I go ahead and get one of these, you can see this is a map to a taiga village. You can kind of see where I am in the top left and where the taiga village is in the bottom left. A brand new map that you can get by villagers. And I'm in a plains, so there's a lot of taiga maps. However, this one also has a savanna village map. These are, of course, maps adding upon, the old Ocean Explorer and Woodland Mansion Explorer maps. But if I were to buy one of these, can see it's different than that Savannah Village. It has a nice little new neat icon on there, definitely giving the cartography villagers much more of a use. However, you notice we only got two different types of maps from these plains villagers. We're in a plains biome, right? Well, if we were to take a look at this diagram from the snapshot notes, you can see that, well, the plains only has savanna village maps and taiga village maps. So each of the different village types have different maps to other villages. This kind of adds a trail of exploration. From one village you can go to the next, but some villagers or some villages don't lead you to other village types. So, right? So, maybe the plains has the savanna village and the desert has the savanna village. But, the snow plains village does not have the savanna village. So it's kind of this progression. And yes, jungle villages and swamp villages are still there. As you'll see when I talk about one of these other villages here, it's not that hard. I mean, this was a lucky random world. Like, this was not planned. It just happened to be here. And then I used it. But there is, a jungle right over here. So all I would have to do is set up this nice little roller coaster for the villagers to ride across and breed a couple villagers up just right over here, right? I mean, this is like best case scenario. You might have to do a bit of work to get those different biomes. And not only do these new maps lead to new villages, but it really is a Biome Explorer map. Personally, I would love to see Biome Explorer maps for all the other subsets of biomes, like the ice spike biomes and, different biomes like that, not just to villages, but it is kind of neat to have a village-to-village map. But to be able to get your jungle villagers, you actually have to find a jungle village without any help from any map. So, like I said, that'd be nice to add on to in the future. There is a link on the snapshot notes, which is linked in the description below. A link and a link and a link to feedback. You can give feedback on these. This is where some of these changes came into play, but let's talk about the other type of villager, which is, I don't know what they're doing, but this guy, armor. So you can see, like in this armor right here, you can still get diamond armor just fine, right? It's still a thing you can do. But diamond armor, you wouldn't believe this, and this is just mind-blowing. Can you believe that diamond armor now requires diamonds? Yep, the Armorer Master no longer gives as good of a deal. You now have to pay a little bit of diamonds with your emeralds to get this insane armor. Protection 1 pre-enchanted for less than, the original piece of armor. This is still a deal. Sure, it's not the same. It's not as easy as just walking up to a villager and saying, I want diamonds, and he pukes them out at you, practically what he did before. You now have to work. You can't just instantly walk to a village and get diamond armor without ever getting a diamond. But this, it kind of adds a small step in between, but you don't have to stay down in the mines mining for diamonds forever. You can just grab a couple and then practically get yourself an entire set of armor. This is still a good way of doing it, but makes it a bit more nicer, or at least fair. And then for the armor, you can, on master ones, get and sell blocks of iron. So if you're in your village and you see this guy right here, you practically got free stuff from the villagers. I don't think they thought that through, but hey, it's a thing you can do. And also, for the biome-specific villagers, swamp and jungle now actually have a way of getting chainmail armor. The good old uncraftable armor you can now get from villagers. Pretty neat, getting, kind of a rare feature to a rare villager. Which, like I said, was pretty easy for me, but that could take some exploring to get yourself arguably the worst armor in the game, but it's kind of snazzy, You put some chainmail on an armor stand and put some armor trim on it and just shove it in the corner of your closet in your Minecraft house. Now tell me that doesn't sound fancy. And for other armors, if you're in the savanna biome, you get practically robbed with diamond armor. Not sure about that one, but hey. And the taiga village armor can swap one piece of diamond armor for another. So a true trade, not just here's money, give me a thing, like a true villager trade, which that's kind of nice. And then, just because, here are the current armor trades. Now, like I said at the beginning, these are experimental. Nothing is written in stone other than villager changes are coming, and specifically, biome-specific villager traders changes. Then, for other notes on the snapshot, like I said, crap ton of bugs, some technical changes, and some quality of life things, but that's pretty much the whole 1.20.2 snapshot, with most of the things I talked about under those experimental toggles. Now, I know, if Mojang touches 1 pixel, there's gonna be an outburst, but I gotta be honest, I personally love these changes. Giving more things to biomes, gives the possibility and potential of actually more unique biome villages in the future. I mean, think about a cherry blossom grove village. I mean, there's now something unique about it other than the way the houses and villagers look. And, this is all a great step in the right direction. I've always loved the farmer village because it's the only villager that actually does something, right? I mean, the villagers walk up to their workstation and they say, well, gee, I'm gonna work, and you never see them do anything other than they magically have stuff for you. You get to see the farmer villager walk around and actually plant and harvest the crops, and I've always loved that, and I've always felt like, all the other villages just kind of feel like, they're thrown aside. Everyone is unique, but always the farmer villagers always, kind of planted their own crops. Well, guess what? I can't wait to see other villagers get an upgrade, Think about it, like the barrel, fishermen, in the future, different biomes have different waters, and, maybe a jungle villager will sell tropical fish, while plains villager sells boring cod or something, right? There's just so much potential, especially for the potions. I'm not even going to get started with that one. I love where these are going personally, and you can see, like I said, the potential of other villages and village types, and just it opens up the possibility. It might outdate your current trading hall, right? You can't just say, oh, when the next update that finally has these rolls out, you can't say, well, gee, my trades are all screwed up. Burn it down, right? I mean, that's kind of going to be what you have to do, and that's going to be hated. But being able to have more control over what villager has what, instead of just sitting there re-rolling villagers, you now have control of what each villager might have. It'll make it easy, I think, or easier to set up a trading hall for the first time. Suck it when you have to redo it. But I don't know. This is just me going on a rant about how much I love these changes. But with this is everything. Like I said, these are specific changes. Don't yell at me in the comments. These are experimental. Just because this is a pre-release does not mean these are coming in 1.20.2. They're not, okay? They're not. So, I can't wait to see these expanded upon in the future. Like I said, guessing we won't see any more changes until after maybe the first snapshot for 1.20.3, or, you know, for maybe even Minecraft Live. Maybe there's something big up their sleeves with villagers. Okay, one last point, I swear. One last point, and then I'm done. If you've seen this floating around from Nembomb, it's, you know, speculated to be the next big 1.20 feature, because if a Mojang dev's cat jumps on the keyboard and accidentally tweets out an apostrophe, it's probably the next 5 major updates, right? So this was considered to be, you know, some big reveal, which it is. This was a leak at the time, but now an updated image from Nembomb. Well, hey, that is the new villagers and the way that they say which village map they should have. So hey, there's your last bit of news. Should I shut up now? Good, because it's the outro. You might be, I mean really, this is the outro now. You might be able to tell by all the new fancy videos that you should click on. They're on screen right now. Fun. Goodbye.